Hey guys, new video today, and I'm gonna call the video "I Should Have Made It By Now." And I wanted to do this video because this week I've talked to a couple people who, they're very talented people, but they've given up on the dream that they have. And sometimes, if you're pursuing your dream, you find that it can take a little bit longer than you want it to manifest into the way that you think that it should. If that makes sense. So, and I respect you. If you go for your dream, respect, shout out to you because it's not easy. Sometimes, you don't know how you're gonna get there. Um, you get frustrated sometimes, and it's not easy. So many people give up and they settle for something that they don't really want. They'll go for a job that they really don't want, um, only to, hide the disappointment in a sense. Like they're not really satisfied. It's not really what they want to do, but they're doing it anyway. So, first of all, I'm gonna address this idea of I should have made it by now with saying the root issue of feeling that you haven't, or this feeling that you should have made it by now comes from you comparing yourself to other people. So, like when you're oh my everyone's watching me. When you're pursuing something, um, you may find that you know other people who are doing exactly the same thing as you, but they seem to be doing better. So you got your next door neighbor Nathan, who wants to do the same thing as you, and he's going for the same goal, and then a door opens up and he seems to get the position that he wants, and then you've been out there, grinding, you've been doing what you can, and it doesn't seem to be manifesting for you, and you think, man, maybe it's because I'm not good enough that I haven't, blown up in the same way that our next door neighbor Nathan has. But that's not the reality. One thing you got to highlight is we all have different paths, right? I believe we have a completely different path. So what, your next door neighbor Nathan's doing is none of your business because you don't know the ins and outs of it. You know what I mean? You don't know if he's really happy or not. You don't know if he's at peace. You don't even know if that's where he's really supposed to be. You know what I mean? So, the grass is not always greener. So you don't know what other people are doing, and to it, it's none of your business to know. You need to focus on you. We all have our own different path, right? So don't be comparing yourself to anybody else. Focus on you. And another perspective, a great analogy that I heard the other day was that of a Chinese bamboo tree, and it says this. It says that this tree, it takes 5 years of consistent watering and fertilizing it before you can even see a little bit of growth from it. So you can have the seed down there in the soil, right? And you go and you're busy, you're watering it, you're fertilizing it, and you're seeing nothing, not an inch of growth, no nothing. And it says for 5 years you have to consistently keep watering it, you have to keep fertilizing it, and then in the fifth year, while you're busy watering it and fertilizing it, the tree begins to crack up and show signs of growth. And in that fifth year, when it starts to show signs of growth, like when a little bit of the tree trunk starts showing through the ground, within 6 weeks it grows to 90 feet tall, right? And many of you people who are going after your dreams right now are in that 5 years, if you want to call it. The 5 years where you're busy watering it, you're busy fertilizing, you're busy doing all you can to get your dream. You're doing all you know to do, and it seems that nothing's happening. You feel like your work's in void. But the thing you need to realize is during those 5 years, when the person's watering the Chinese bamboo tree and fertilizing it, the tree is developing those strong roots in the ground, and the root system's being developed, how it's gonna get its food's being developed, and it's growing strong. So while during those 5 years, it's not a waste of time. During those 5 years where you feel like, oh, things ain't working for me, is a time where you're developing the necessary skills that you need to do what you gotta do. So no time is ever wasted. You're picking up different skills, and also you need to realize is sometimes the ability that you have can take you to places that your character is not ready to handle. Let me say that line again. Sometimes the abilities you have can take you to places that your character can't handle. So when you're going through those 5 years, like that bamboo tree, where things don't seem to be happening for you and you're doing all you can and nothing's working, That's the time you're developing your skills, and that's the time you're developing the character that you need to handle the thing that you want. Because sometimes you can get something too early, and the thing that you think you want would kill you right now because you haven't got the character to handle it. So like you can think of some of those child stars who, they come up and they start, start enacting TV, and you think, wow, they're brilliant, they're fantastic. And then years later down the line, because maybe they haven't been coached properly, or maybe because, they haven't been guided properly, they find themselves, falling into drug abuse and falling into all these different addictions and all these different problems, only because they weren't able to handle the pressure of being in the spotlight all the time, the pressure of always being judged. So this is the perspective I'm giving you, that maybe it's not time for you to make it just yet. Maybe you need to just keep going a little bit longer, keep developing your root system, keep watering and fertilizing, your dream. And in that 5 years, you will eventually blow up. So I'm not literally saying, yo, it's going to take you 5 years for your dream to happen. Sometimes it'll happen faster than that. Sometimes it'll happen a little bit longer than that. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, when you're in that period, keep watering, keep doing what you know to do, and eventually it'll come. Eventually, you crack through the ground, and then you start growing 90 feet tall, and people are going to be like, whoa, where do you come from? When all that time you have been working. Because, the thing that you want never really happens overnight. If it happens overnight, you're never really going to be able to appreciate it, if you know what I mean. Nothing easy just comes like that. Like, if you study loads of the great people that we admire today, it took time for them to, to get to where they want to be. Like I was reading Morgan Freeman's life story, and he said that he didn't really get a major role till he was 52 years old. That's a long time. So I'm sure, during his 30s, he's thinking, man, I should have made it by now. You know what I mean? He's had a divorce. Things ain't going right. His wife's left him. You know what I mean? Things ain't going right. But he kept, watering the ground. He kept fertilizing the soil. And eventually, it manifested and his dream came. So for you guys who think, man, I should have made it by now. Why ain't it happening? Our next door neighbor Nathan's made it, but I ain't got that yet. The thing is, don't compare yourself to anybody else. You have a completely different path. And you don't know what our next door neighbor Nathan's doing. You don't know if he's happy. You don't know if that's really where he's supposed to be. So you focus on yourself and you keep going. Word of the day brought to you by Cheers.